So now we have to deal with the firewall. The firewall is going to be in the DSL adapter or cable modem. The firewall is, again, it's another protection. It's another access control door. It's just like my house here. I live in downtown Chicago. I have a fence around my house. I have a gate out at the sidewalk, and then I got a front door. They both got locks on them, right? So I have two protective barriers, if you will. The gate on my fence, I've got my fence with the gate, and I've got my house with the door, right? So just like my house has those two protective barriers, most networks will have two or more protective firewalls. We've already dealt with one firewall. That's the one in the router. We did the port forwarding. We opened her up, and we said, forward those ports. Now we've got to go to the firewall in the DSL adapter or cable modem and set it to allow traffic through the port numbers that we've selected for our devices. To do this, first of all, we got to find that firewall. We got to find the IP address, the local IP address of that DSL or adapter cable modem. The way you do that, there's a couple of ways to do it, but an easy way to do it is to use your command line function, and instead of ipconfig or ping, you use traceroute, T-R-A-C-E-R-T, space, and then so you sit at Tony's computer at Bob's Body Shop, excuse me, Tony, got to use your computer again, and you go to the command line and you go traceroute space, and you go just anywhere on the internet, google.com, yahoo.com, your website, my website, doesn't matter. You just want to get out of the local network and get out on the internet, and you want to see the first two routers, because what traceroute shows you is the routers that your packets are going through. The first router is going to be your D-Link or Linksys box, that 192.168.1.1. The next address you see, in this case 172.16.0.1, that is the local address of my DSL or cable modem. That's the address I go to manipulate the firewall settings. How do I get there? Internet Explorer. Type in that IP address. You're going to see the username password challenge from the DSL or cable modem. Once again, you must have that password information to get into it. But once you're into it, what you're going to look for is you want to find a screen that allows you to add hosted applications, specific hosted applications. I'm going to jump ahead and then we're going to go back. You see down here where on my DSL adapter it says add a new user-defined application? That's where you click it. You click that and it takes you to this screen. And here's where you'd put NUO 2040. And then in the protocol, remember we talked about that TCP UDP on the router. Well, here you have to pick either TCP or UDP. Then you put the port. If I'm using port 8010, I would put from 8010 to 8010. The rest of this stuff, just leave it alone. You click add. Then what that's going to do is you're going to get to a screen like this that says, I've got two options for my firewall. One, under item 2 here. One, I can have maximum protection, disallowing unsolicited inbound traffic. Nothing's coming through. Or I can allow individual applications. That's what you want. So you click that. Then if you could pull this down and look at it, you would see your entry, NUO 2040. And you see right here where I highlighted it here. I clicked add. It pulled it over here to hosted applications. And I've got NUO 2040. Notice I've got NUO 2040 here. I've got NUO 2042. I've got NUO Live 5150. I've got 6 entries for my NUO recorder. Why do I have 6 entries? Because of this. On my particular DSL adapter, when you go in to do hosted applications, it does not allow you to select both TCP and UDP on the same entry. You have to go either TCP or UDP. Okay, I'll get around that. I'll put it in twice. I'll put in one for TCP. I'll put in one for UDP. For the live recording or for live view, I'll put in one TCP, one UDP. And for recording, I'll put in one TCP, one UDP. It takes 5 minutes. It's easy. But on my particular DSL adapter, to make this work, I've got 6 entries of hosted applications. And then there's a button down here at the bottom that says done. You can't see it because I cut it off. You got to click done. And then you're going to see, well, there it is. Then you've got your firewall summary, and you see that I've got 6 total applications, hosted applications for my Nuo device. Now I'm ready to go because I've set the firewall in the DSL so that I can hit any of those required ports to get into the Nuo, to manage it, to look at live video, and to look at recorded video. So